Will the audience stand? Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The audience may be seated. Today, we have the honor and pleasure of recognizing Camden Spielman for the award of Eagle Rank. His parents, leaders, and fellow troop have labored long and faithfully for him to be alert and participate in citizenship through the scouting program. Their efforts culminate today in the presentation of the Eagle Scout badge. The success of these efforts will become evident in the way this Eagle Scout sets his future for all the lives he may touch. Would the Eagle candidate please come forward? As we begin this Eagle Court of Honor and examine Camden's Trail to Eagle, it is fitting that we start with the fundamental principles of scouting, the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. Camden, would you please recite the Scout Oath to affirm your commitment to this promise?
On my honor, I will do my best, do my duty, to guard my country, to help other people at all times and all places, keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
As part of your affirmation to this promise, would you please recite the Scout Law to rededicate yourself to the principles contained in the words?
A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and resolute.
Thank you. Please be seated. It is my honor to introduce our first guest speaker for today's event, Pastor Steve Bushler.
I was told that I could roast Camden. So one of the things that, having had the honor to participate in a couple of different Eagle Court of Honors before, I know that one of the things that is really special about this is the opportunity to think about how the Eagle Scout has grown from a child to an adult, and I've had the ability to watch Camden grow over these years as he's been a member of Prince of Peace. So I tell you two stories. First story, and they're both they are both Camden's participation in our Christmas pageant. One was when he was maybe 3-4 years old. Jamie's going to have to help me remember this. He is 4. He was remembered for being Darth Vader because everything was quiet and everything was going on, but Camden had the microphone, and you heard. And I was like, oh boy, this is going to be a fun kid to work with. And Camden always had fun with those things. Fast forward to about 10 years later, we're doing this setup where the shepherds are on trial for disturbing the peace during the Christmas day, and Camden is now playing the adult attorney who is trying to prosecute the shepherds, and the sheep, who are about 4 years old, keep coming up and trying to grab his microphone from him. And I watched that, and there's a little bit of schadenfreude where I thought, now you get to see what it's like. But I thought, you handled that very well. You were the grown-up in the room. And one of the things that has been great about watching you over these years, Camden, is that you have gone from being the child to being the adult supervision, the adult in the room. And part of what being an Eagle Scout now is to be able to say, hey, I can be the person who actually takes care of things and helps other people. And you've done that in lots of different ways. We hired you as our nursery attendant. Now that we don't have kids around to watch anymore is a thing that we're dealing with, but you've shown as you've gone through this whole process that you've been responsible and helpful, and you've learned to be a real dependable adult, and we're very, very, very proud of you for that.
Thank you, Pastor. It is my honor to introduce our second guest speaker for today's event, Mr. Jeff Baker.
Howdy, I'm Jeff Baker. I was Camden's Cub Master. Back when he was little, Congratulations, I am pleased to see your shirt tails tucked in. Now, it may come as a shock to some of y'all that there are scouts who approach their Eagle Court of Honor, the close of their Eagle Project, surrounded by an echoing antiphony of "thank God it's done." You will probably be shocked to hear that there are some parents who are awash with that as well, and in the dead of night pump their fists or collapse in a chair and say to themselves, "Thank God it's done." Try to resist that. It's a celebration, not an escape, number one. Number two, it's not true. There are no ex-scouts. There are only former scouts. There are no ex-scouters or ex-scout moms. Only scouters or scout moms who aren't currently active. I know boys, they think that when they're in a tent, we can't hear what they're saying. It's a remarkable thing. It's not a type 3 force field at all. Who say every boy in our troop gets his eagle with his parents' boot print on his butt. I'm not entirely sure that is true. But I tell you, the journey does not end with the eagle. And if the boot print is there, only you will know, it does not fade, because the law is always there. Now, I'm an old white guy with a captive audience, so I get to make it all about me. That's what you do. I work in my other life for the United States FDA. I'm Deputy Director of the Office of Biotechnology Products. It has been a busy time. It has been a stressful time. We have been sciencing the crap out of this, and there have also been tidal forces at work that may perhaps not be about the mission or the science. But I'll tell you this for a fact, Scouts Honor. I'm an old guy. More than once, 2 or 3 very specific times in very specific situations. In the movie, it would be easy and there would be good music. There was not good background music. It was not easy. And I recited the Scout law in my head. It's just a fact. Trustworthy. Be worthy of trust and give your trust to those who are worthy of it. Loyal. Be loyal to principles, not people. The principles will not let you down. All the way down through. Friendly is not just tolerant. Friendly is welcoming and joyfully including. All the way down. You want to terrify a scout? I'll tell you how you do this at their Eagle board. You ask them, which point of the, if you had to add a point of the Scout law, what would you add? Or which point should be deleted? Not having the answer is part of the discovery. It's quite a code. All the way down to accepting the challenge to revere things, to care very, very deeply, to have the courage to care very, very deeply about things worth revering. Congratulations. You have hit a punctuation mark, but it is not a period. The road in front of you is not going to be easy. Being a senior in the time of COVID is hard. College is a mess. As if it weren't rough enough being a 20-something. Oh my gosh. But the law will always be there. And I encourage you, use your own judgment, but I encourage you, when you get stuck, take a big breath and don't get swept along and recite the law. You won't go far wrong. That's what I think. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. It is my pleasure to introduce the Scout speaker for today's event, Michael Hennings.
Thank you. Originally, Matthew wrote some words from Camden, but unfortunately he couldn't make it today, so I'll be reading in his place. First, I just want to say, Camden, I'm so proud of you. You are an Eagle Scout. It's been really cool seeing you grow up over the years. You went from another stranger who was in the troop with me to someone who can make anyone laugh, the smartest guy I know, and someone who is a natural leader. Although you are very much a serious person most of the time, There's been a fair share of funny moments with you. My all-time favorite moment is when we went on our mini high adventure trip on the river. Jacob and I were in a canoe, and it was you and Aiden in the other. We were sailing by a big clump of rocks and started having a water fight of sorts. You and Aiden got tipped out of the canoe and into the water and swam to a rock. Jacob and I stole your canoe and left you two stranded there for a while until we felt that it was enough torture for the two of you. Although you were clearly a little mad and frustrated, you laughed it up afterward and enjoyed the rest of the trip. Like I said earlier, you've always been known to be a very serious person. Even so, there are very many little tidbits that you do that make people laugh. I'd say my favorite was when you were speaking to the whole troop, and every time you made a point, well, you would point. At first, none of us made anything of it, but then it kept happening over and over and over again, and so we were trying to hold our laughter in as much as we could. I've honestly really enjoyed being in the troop with you, and I wish you the best of luck in life. Oh, and one more thing. We're at a camp out, Camden. Put your phone away.
Thank you, Michael. The pathway to Eagle can be described as a steep trail. Along that trail there are 6 steps, each one the rank of scouting that you had to pass along the trail. Your scout's badge, trefoil shape, which resembled a mariner compass, as it would always point you along the correct direction. The scout badge was then replaced by the tenderfoot badge. It still pointed you in the right direction, but it had the 2 added stars, which represented the truth and knowledge you had gained in scouting. The second class badge showed you a scroll with the motto, "Be prepared." Its ends were turned up in a smile, and that is what you were to do, as the bottom knot reminded you to do a good turn daily, which is the scout slogan. Your first class badge showed you that it was time to put everything together. Everything you had learned thus far together, and this is what you did. The star badge, a golden star, was to symbolize your new role as a leader. You were called upon to be a guiding light in the darkness for those who were to follow. No longer were you receiving scouting, but you were expected to teach new skills to others. The badge of life, a pure red heart on a golden field, was to show all the world the path that you had chosen. True to the ideals of scouting, you had gained an inner confidence, and that was to prepare you for the rest of your life. The trail became even tougher, but it also became more interesting. The legal candidate, please come forward. The troop has watched you as you have worked towards your eagle. We have watched your mind develop and your knowledge increase. We have seen you grow in many ways. And now you are on the threshold of your goal. This is not the end of the trail, but rather a beginning of a new era in your life. You will always be an Eagle Scout and will be expected to act accordingly. Please raise the Scout sign and repeat the charge after me. I reaffirm my allegiance to the 3 promises of the Scout Oath.
I reaffirm my allegiance to the 3 promises of the Scout Oath.
I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself
I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself
the obligations and responsibilities of the Eagle Scout.
the responsibilities and obligations of the Eagle Scout.
On my honor, I will do my best
On my honor, I will do my best
to make my training, example, rank, and influence
to make my training, example, rank, and influence
count strongly for better scouting
count strongly for better scouting
and for better citizenship in my troop,
and for better citizenship in my troop,
in my community,
in my community,
and in my contact with other people, always.
and in my contact with other people, always.
To this, I pledge my sacred honor.
To this, I pledge my sacred honor.
Thank you. All be seated. Oh, wait. Yeah. No, you stay. Would the parents of Camden Spielman please come forward? The symbol of your success is the Eagle Badge, which will now be presented to your mother. Your mother will, in turn, pin the badge over your heart. In recognition of the many hours of patient guidance given by her in your efforts, will you present this Eagle Mother's Pin to your mother? Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to introduce Troop 1097's newest Eagle Scout, Camden Spielman. Parents, you may be seated. At this point, the new Eagle Scout would like to make a few remarks.
All right. So first, I'd like to give everyone a few thanks who helped me along this way. My parents for giving me times of support when I struggled on this badge. I really couldn't have been able to do it without you. Pastor Steve for helping me out and letting me do this in the first place, and letting us meet here at all. This, I couldn't have done it without you either. You, Mr. Baker, for starting me off on my journey. Couldn't have done it without you. One thing that I wanted to note, this trail was actually originally a scout project too, by the Wallachia family. Back there.
More than 20 years ago.
And I helped build off it, built this picnic area, and cleaned up the gardens too. And that's like at the core what I think scouting is really all about. Building off the work that other scouts have set off before you to make something even better. As an Eagle Scout, I hope that other scouts can too build off of the things that I've made and make something even better. All right.
Thank you, Camden. You may be seated. I now welcome Decker Spielman to close this Eagle Court of Honor with a prayer.
Please remove your hats away from the password. Dear God, thank you for this day, and thank you for Scouting. Thank you for helping all the people who are Eagle Scouts for reaching the rank, and please help those who are on the path to Eagle Scout get there. Amen.
Once again, I would like to offer my congratulations to Camden for his achievements, and we invite everyone present to come forward and congratulate the new Eagle Scout and his parents, and to join us for refreshments. Camden Scouting memorabilia will also be available for viewing at this time. Thank you for coming today.